The horrendous story of Countess Ilona's bizarre anniversary party, which later came to be known in certain elevated Habsburg circles as a werewolf reunion, is one for whose truth I am prepared to vouch with my life. Indeed, with my honor. 4 distinguished guests had been invited to Countess Ilona's castle in Hungary. 4 men who had been important to her in Budapest during those years as a cafe entertainer and courtesan. But then she married the abominable Count Anton Tirch, an aristocrat as notorious for his perverse cruelty as for the eccentricities of his private life. Count Tirch had died in what was discreetly referred to as a hunting accident, less than a year after the wedding. And only a few weeks after the birth of the Countess's beloved only son, Bela, the young Count Tirch, an angelic boy with a strange craving for candied fruit. Indeed, so little time had elapsed between the beloved son's baptismal rites and the hated father's funeral that the Countess's guests could not be sure which of the 2 events, now 10 years past, they had been invited to celebrate. The guest who probably knew Ilona best was a retired doctor and self-confessed erotomane, Felix Kraus. He had quickly found someone at Castle Tirch whom he was pleased to add to his collection of amorous conquests, a list with which he endeavored to amuse his friends in Budapest. Zoltan Vincenz, once an unhappy revolutionary, now a contented arms dealer, had once invested heavily in Ilona. He hoped to recoup at least some of his losses. The 3rd guest, the sybaritic young virtuoso Hugo Hoffmann, did not survive his first night at Castle Tirch. Killed and hideously mutilated, he was found the next morning by his fellow guests, who believed him to be the victim of some marauding beast. Having foolishly decided to travel to Transylvania by private carriage, the 4th visitor arrived late, much to the Countess's regret. Baron Joseph von Heller was without doubt the most illustrious of the Countess's former lovers, those men who, she imagined, had ruined her own life and that of her beloved son before that life had barely begun. Considering that Baron von Heller was a politician of unrivaled deceit, it was remarkable how convincingly he performed in public his chosen role, that of the man of principle.
Baron von Haller, Herr Zoltan von Vincenz. Some breakfast, if the Baron pleases. Mocha.
You look surprised, Baron.
I am surprised.
Unpleasantly, it would seem.
I could not deny it.
Oh. Since you rage so ceaselessly against my activities in Parliament, it can hardly improve your reputation to be found in my company, in these somewhat loose circumstances, moreover.
What circumstances?
Well, you suspect nothing a little, well,
Sinister. My friend, these old castles were built to discourage visitors. There is nothing here that I have not observed in a dozen eastern country estates.
I wasn't thinking so much of the architecture, more of the nature of the invitation. Didn't that strike you as somewhat underhand?
It does so now, Herr Vincenz. Oh, forgive me if in addressing you I omit the ennobling fond, since I happen to know you are not entitled to the honor.
Quite true, Baron. But as His Majesty will shortly be conferring upon me the title of Count.
Ah. You are privy to His Majesty's private thoughts.
I'm paying for the title dearly, as you did for yours. But no matter. I'm glad you're here. We need you.
I was not even aware that you were acquainted with the Countess Tira, let alone her late husband, the Count.
There are a great many things of which you, mercifully, are unaware, Herr Haller. You ever met Hugo Hoffmann?
Yes, of course. Rather showy style of playing.
Well, you'll play no more, showily or otherwise.
Oh,
Dead.
indeed.
Last night. Here. Attacked by, well, one can only guess.
Attacked by whom?
By what?
Quite true. Baron.
Dr. Krauss. Well, this is most disturbing. I wish to know more.
How he loves his candy fruit, his candy fruit. Silver, the shutter.
Bon appetit, mon vieux.
Really, how under these circumstances you can enjoy breakfast?
I'm enjoying lunch. Breakfast I enjoyed some hours ago after our unfortunate discovery.
Sickening.
Really? Oh, the people like you are betters, always prattling on about this petty-minded god of yours. Is it your insurance policy? Just in case, after the worms have satisfied their appetites on your body, on your lips, on your eyes.
Please, if you cannot respect our concern, perhaps you could show some respect for the Countess's grief. Poor Hoffman.
Poor Hoffman. What irony. I repeat that good Christians should always condemn the normal and pleasurable functions which the aforesaid good Lord has kindly equipped us. Drink, and we're told that our livers will rot away. Fornicate in any other but most of the perversely domesticated manner, and we will go mad with horrendous diseases.
No one condemns enjoyment of the flesh in moderation.
Now, will you let me finish? No doubt. We should be told that even eating is harmful in some way will hasten our descent.
But, my dear Zoltan, it is true we all die of our pleasure.
Look here. What is to be done?
Yes. Poor Hoffman. Such a talent. Such a loss to Ilona, to the world.
You. Where is the Countess?
The Countess, Baron, is asleep.
Asleep.
The Countess has left instructions, Baron. She does not wish to be disturbed today. The Countess is profoundly distressed.
Yes, she must be disconsolate beyond me.
I have, of course, announced your arrival, Baron. The Countess will be pleased to dine with you tonight.
She loved him best, you know, Hugo. He was not merely a lover, he was more a brother, a son.
Oh, he's sentimental, Paul. He was a toy. A momentary caprice, a plaything like the rest of us.
Dear Zoltan, you are plaything. Still, that story she told us last night about how any of us could be the father of her son. I dare say you too, Baron.
What?
Her son, Bela, he could be yours, or mine, or Hugo's. Not his, of course.
Utterly impossible. I mean, you only have to look at the boy, don't you? That was quite impossible.
You mean you worked out the dates?
No, but I'm sure you have.
Could it have been young Hoffman? It's a most distasteful conjecture, certainly, but is that perhaps why?
Why he was killed, say it. It's possible Hoffman was murdered.
As a doctor, a former doctor, could you say positively that Hugo Hoffman did not die of natural causes?
Natural causes, I told you.
Hardly natural, my friend.
What then are the
The
facts?
facts are that a ravenous wild beast got into the grounds and found his way into the castle. A bear. A wolf.
Yeah, I've often seen them in this part of the world, you know, hunting in packs, ravenous.
Wolves do not enter houses.
This one did, found poor Hoffman playing the organ.
A music critic in wolf's clothing.
You say this animal actually attacked Hoffman in this house?
Attacked, devoured would be the more accurate term, my dear Baron. He was torn to pieces.
And the curious thing is that Count Tyr, our beloved Ilona's husband, he too.
The Count died after a hunting accident.
In fact, it seems he died of lycanthropy.
I don't understand.
Before he died, your friend Count Tyr imagined he was a wolf. Or rather, as he would have said, a werewolf. Mocha, my dear.
Here.
I hear the music in the dream. Silver, what is undead?
What?
Who is undead? Are you?
Come here.
Forgive me.
How do you find him?
The doctor?
The doctor. No, the other one.
The one who arrived late. He seems very soldierly, Countess. Very noble.
And what do they talk about?
They are relieved that they are still alive.
Indeed. Never have a child. Never have a child.
Enter. It is cold. Light the fire.
Yes, ma'am.
Wait. Answer some questions. Has anything like last night's tragedy, has anything like it occurred before at Castle Tyr?
Not to my knowledge, Baron.
Your master, I am now informed, was also attacked by wolves, allegedly an accident during a hunt.
I entered the Countess' service after the death of the Count. We all did.
You will tell me the truth, fellow.
Wish to see me, Baron?
Now, Dr. Kraus, I see I'm forced to take charge of this regrettable affair. There will be a thorough investigation. I shall personally make out a report for the authorities. For a start, you will immediately send for the police.
Forgive me, Baron, but they would not come. Not to Castle Tyr, sir.
Why not?
No, never. Oh, it is tradition.
Then send to the village for a coach.
There is no coach, Baron.
Rubbish, a perfectly sound coach. Fetch me from the village.
But the coachman met with an accident last night.
Then saddle up some horses.
I have no horses, Baron.
I think Andrash is telling us the Countess does not wish us to leave. Are you not, Andrash?
The Countess, gentlemen, wishes your every order to be carried out to the letter.
Well, what now?
Now, let me think. It's a conspiracy, obviously politically inspired. One's enemies are everywhere. Why do you smile?
I smile, Hannah, because it delights me to see you like this. You afraid.
Why is not Ilona here with us now? Tell me that.
You might also ask, why is she not afraid?
Really do look well, Joseph. Handsome, noble. We missed you so much last night.
I am, despite what has occurred. The tragedy. Delighted to see you again, Ilona, looking more beautiful, even more charming than I remember you.
Ask Ferenc to bring the Takaya, the very old one. The one for special occasions. The old man will know. How kindly time has treated you, Joseph. Is it the glow of always winning?
Winning?
As for you, my dear Felix, it is hopeless. You will never change.
My dear.
I observed her this afternoon, the poor girl. Your thumb marks all over her. She has bad blood, you know.
Bad?
Oh, come now, my dear Felix, you're a doctor. You know what I mean.
Ilona means, I imagine, that there is more than one way of killing a cat.
Thank you.
In that case, my dear Zoltan, you might have been wise to bring along your own food taster, like those suspicious Roman emperors. Oh, you're not amused, Joseph. Oh, poor Joseph. You really wish us to mourn, dear Hugo, don't you? You would prefer a tear-stained woman to preside over this table with tragic dignity. Do you wish me to show my real feelings?
My dear, I do apologize most profoundly.
Hugo was a most extraordinary man.
If I may say so, my dear Ilona, you made him into an extraordinary man.
Perhaps that is why he had to die an extraordinary death.
Oh, why? It rekindles such exquisite memories.
Music? While Hugo Hoffman lies in there, unburied?
Well, fetch a priest then. Send for a choir. A mass for the boy's immortal soul. He probably composed one for his own funeral rites. It would have been in character, wouldn't it?
Please stay, my dear. I should never forgive myself if I have wounded your susceptibilities. Hugo will be decently buried, there will be a discreet funeral, and I shall personally inform his relatives.
Forgive me, Ilona. Unfortunately, I do have...
A bad headache?
I'm sorry.
Oh, my dear, you really are unwell. I shall attend to him myself.
Now,
yes.
About this werewolf.
There's no such thing as a werewolf, Zoltan. I thought we agreed upon that. It is a myth.
But the disease.
Lycanthropy.
Well, a man, while in this self-intoxicated state that you described to me, could well...
yes.
Could well...
Try to appease his insatiable wolfish appetites. Yes, indeed.
Then poor Hugo could not possibly be the victim of such an incident. I mean, no man, whatever his sickness, could possibly do to another what was done to Hugo. Could he? Could he?
is that? The bullet made of silver.
There are servants to do that. But if you wish to leave, leave. Fear was the one infirmity I did not credit you with.
Poisoned? You have poisoned me. Why? Forgive me, it's my head.
You still feel unwell. Is that why you wish to leave?
To behave dishonorably towards you, Ilona, at any time would be unthinkable. If you imagine yourself in some kind of danger... I must, of course, stay.
Oh, of course. To protect me.
I wished, I do still wish that before you made the fatal decision to marry Count Tyr, the news, you understand, at the time reached me as a bolt from the blue.
A bolt from the blue.
I wished, I repeat, that before you determined to take that fatal step, a certain misunderstanding between us could have been eliminated.
Ah, yes. Eliminated.
To our mutual satisfaction.
And wasn't it? I was married off, out of the way, made harmless.
Please do not torture me, Ilona. Ruthlessness is a quality no politician can jettison entirely. Indeed, he must nourish it. Everyone now agrees that in eliminating Grigor, we not only served the party's unity, we saved the country from the mob. It's true, at one time we spoke of marriage.
We?
Very well, I spoke of it then. I loved you. I would have sacrificed everything for you, but you must understand that a marriage based purely on personal inclination when I was on the very brink of real power at last, power from which you would have benefited handsomely, no, I could not. I dared not. I find your silence distracting. Why do you insist on warming up this distasteful old business, Must I remind you? You did tell me, oh yes, you liked Grigor. You found him physically attractive. God in heaven, to spend one single night with him, come now, for someone like you, was it really such a favor, such a terrible sacrifice? Was it? Please do not misunderstand me. I admit I, the party, exploited the scandal politically, but the name of the woman in the case, your name, was never printed. Not once. One saw to that. And the regrettable fact that poor Grigor shot his wife and his 3 children before ending his own existence, that, my dear, was hardly a foreseeable fact. I do not think that I can be held accountable for the rest of my life for one slightly dubious political act, one technical contrivance. Good God, Ilona, a statesman's life hinges on 1,000 trivial decisions of this kind. Some succeed, a few misfire. The death of Grigor and his family should certainly not be on your conscience. It is no longer on mine. You did me and the party a great favor. And I must now insist that you forgive me once and for all time. Ilona! Andros! Andros! The shutters. Out there.
Hello, Sainsbury. I shall have it attended to in the morning. I trust the Baron will sleep well.
Heinrich! Heinrich! God! Heinrich! Helena! For pity's sake!
Poor man. A little more coffee, gentlemen.
No, a glass of water and my stomach, rather. And a little lemon tea, perhaps?
Some herbal tea. No lemon.
You say, you saw his body, his face?
Ilona needs the formality of a doctor's certificate. That appears to be the role assigned to me in this affair.
Oh, you still imagine you're safe, do you? Do you?
My dear Zoltan, my windows are firmly barred, and werewolves are discouraged by strong scent. The scent of a lovely woman in heat.
You vain fool, there's a plot to kill us all.
Not all, Zoltan, no, not all.
Well, look, first Hugo, then Joseph, both of them killed, mutilated, at her behest, revenge.
It appears we were so bored by our lives, we could not resist the frisson of the unexpected. Revenge? Revenge for what? I always adored Ilona, still do. Malheureusement, one's appetite for any woman over 30, the enthusiasm diminishes, don't you find?
Yeah. Well, Ilona's not getting rid of me. There's always one way.
Zoltan, no one in this house would take a bribe.
Look, somebody anywhere will always take a bribe. Everybody's for sale, thank God. A coach. I'll get a coach. How much can you spare?
Aye. Well, alas, je suis désolé, mais...
What, nothing?
Well, little Magda, you understand. One had to give a present. One did not bring a great deal of money.
Nothing? What do you mean that little vixen's taken all your money? Well, Felix, it was you who said it. We all die of our pleasures.
And I shall simply have to share your coach, my friend, won't I?
Coach? What coach? What's he mean? What's he mean, coach? Eh? Oh, thank you, my dear. Tell me, who's playing the organ so beautifully this morning? Confidentially. I imagine that it must be you. You know, such delicate fingers.
little angel. Was that you playing?
Yes, I play.
Remarkable.
Yeah. Yes, poor little fellow to be exposed to such tragedy.
Sorry, please.
Why? Mamma has told me.
What did she tell you, boy?
Let me. Huh? Come now. What did Mama tell you, Bella? Eh?
Yeah.
It was the wolf again.
The wolf again. Now tell me, aren't you, well, just a little bit afraid of what you call, the wolf? Hmm?
The wolf only kills his enemies.
Well, what did she tell you, boy? Come on, what did she tell you? Hmm?
Pardon, monsieur?
And when you come to Budapest, bring your family and your friends. I shall give a banquet for you in my house. It'll last 3 days and 3 nights. You know, a fine, strong fella like you, huh?
You know how deeply fond I've grown of you, Magda. That's why I know you will help me. You're the kind of thoughtful woman who understands how many different kinds of friendship there are. The briefest affair can be the most intense. But what matters now is that I get to the station in time. You do understand that, don't you? Believe me, all my promises will be kept. I will send for you as soon as I get to Budapest. And then, who knows what the future may hold for us. But the horse, Magda, the horse must be ready no later than 10 o'clock.
You are determined to leave us? Already, Zoltan?
Huh?
Why? Has the food been inadequate?
No.
The conversation?
No.
The service?
No.
We must persuade the uncle to stay a little longer. Andrash, the basket.
The basket?
Well, you will surely need some sustenance for your long journey, Zoltan.
My long journey. The coach, man, the coach.
Oh, you want a coach, Zoltan, dear? Well, Andrash will, of course, attend to it. Come now.
Huh?
Will you not embrace me for the last time?
Oh, look, Ilona, my dearest, I don't understand. I never, did I ever, have I ever harmed you in any way whatsoever? Did I not buy you everything you ever wanted? You know, a grand house in the finest part of Budapest, you know, servants, horses, the finest dresses that money could buy. Did I ever ask you to account for a single penny? The Esterhazy ruby, you wore it last night, didn't you? Well, how in damnation, woman, do you take me for an idiot? Do you not imagine that I have known everything that was going on from the very beginning? Everything. Your little plan. Wolf indeed, werewolf. I have no doubt at all that were one to search this castle completely and thoroughly from end to end, one would find...
Find? Find what, Zoltan?
Well, Hugo's base ingratitude to you, that deserved to be punished, yes. And Joseph, the way he exploited you for his own political ends, I knew about that. Everybody did. It was disgraceful. And Felix, of course, he was the worst scoundrel of the lot. They should, you should wish to deal with them. Yes, I agree. It's quite understandable. Yes, I know. But Ilona, my dearest, I beg you, I beseech you, why me? See, all I ever did was to adore, to worship you. And I paid for the privilege. Did I ever rob you? Did I ever betray you? It wasn't even I who thought of Count Tina for you. No, that was Felix. Yes. Yes, that's all I ever did was to introduce you, as one might introduce any two friends, one to the other.
Ivan Vincenz is ready.
Your coat?
Hmm?
You see?
Huh? Oh, my coach. For me. For me? Oh, well, then I may, I can,
Good night, Zoltan.
Huh?
Bela, you may kiss your Uncle Zoltan goodbye.
Andras? Andras, my coach! Look, where is the damn coach? Andras! Andras! Andras, I paid you thousands! What?
Why don't you close the door, Felix? You never used to be afraid of my husband.
But he's dead. Count is dead. You buried him. The accident, the thing that it... Oh, my God, Ilona. Why did you not destroy it?
While Tyr was alive, I was, thanks to you, my dear Felix, his creature. Now that he is dead, he is mine, to do my will. For as long as I choose. You see, Felix, when you had all finished with me, when I was no longer quite so young or so desirable, when you... Yes, you, Felix, together with my other friends, decided to pass me on to Count Tyr like an unwanted, slightly soiled pair of shoes. No doubt you thought you had disposed of me. And of him.
Ilona, my dearest, I hardly knew the lad.
No? You didn't know any of Count Tyr's little predilections? You didn't know that, like so many of our betters, he had running through his veins what the gypsies call bad blood? I, alas, knew nothing of this until he brought me here as his bride. And later, after our son was born, old Silver needed only to touch the baby's forehead with the tips of her fingers to know that the father's affliction had been passed on to Bela. And that it would only be a matter of time before he, too...
But there was an accident, is there?
Would serve to explain to the outside world his... what shall I call it? His alteration. All my servants are trustworthy. And you see, Felix, no one else will live to tell the truth.
Did you say that you are determined that all of us...
What else have I to live for, my dear? A husband who filled me with revulsion and is now what he is, and a son who will one day become what his father was. What his father is.
Dear God, Ilona, that wild beast out there, you must know there's just no such thing as a werewolf.
Andrash. The doors.
No, wait, I beg you, I'm going. Ilona, my love! What satisfaction can there possibly be in mere revenge? I understand, Count Tyr. I understand. Don't you recognize me, your old friend? I gave her to you. I gave her to you. Ah!
Bela.
Isn't it nice to be together again? Just us, our little family.
But now, gentlemen, having reached the end of my tale, I pause for refreshment and hope that you will favor me with life membership of your renowned institution.
Splendid story. No! You must not, you cannot. Are you all going blind? Can't you see what he is?
Oh, no, sir. Please, rest assured. I am not he, the husband. Oh, no. It had to be destroyed some time ago, in the rather brutal traditional manner. The silver bullet.
Then who are you?
I wonder, gentlemen, if I might be so bold as to ask for a glass of water. And a little candied fruit.